Hello and welcome to the Sewing Whisperer and the Essential Seams playlist. If you're new here, don't forget to check out the other seam tutorials in this series. Each one builds on your sewing skills step by step. Today we're diving into the flat felled seam, a strong clean finish you've definitely seen before, especially on jeans and men's shirts. Want to follow along? There's a free downloadable pattern in the description below. I've spent over 30 years in the fashion industry teaching people to sew, and every one of them has been able to sew with confidence. I'm demonstrating these seams on an industrial machine, but don't worry, everything I show can be sewn on any domestic sewing machine because it's the technique that matters most, not the machine. What is a flat fell seam? Let's take a closer look at the sample. On the right side, you'll see 2 rows of top stitching. Flip it over, and on the wrong side, all the raw edges are completely enclosed, no overlocking required. You can also sew this seam in reverse with only 1 row of visible stitching. That version is often found on shirt armholes, giving a neat finish on the outside. This seam is very durable, ideal for garments like jeans, workwear and men's shirts. It can be tricky on tight curves, but it's definitely doable with practice. Take a peek at your clothes and see if you can spot a flat felled seam, maybe on a shirt or pair of jeans. Found one? Let me know in the comments. In manufacturing, there's a massive machine called a flat felled seam machine that folds and stitches both rows at once. You can recognize its work by the chain stitches on the wrong side. What we've done here is a home-friendly version that mimics that professional result beautifully. Let's sew it together. Start by placing your fabric wrong sides together, the opposite of most seams. You'll need a wider seam allowance, at least 1.5 centimeters or 5/8 of an inch. I've already sewn this seam using that allowance. Now trim one side of the seam allowance down to 5 mil or 1/4 of an inch. Trim the side where you want the seam to fold towards. For example, on a shirt, trim the back seam so the final seam folds to the back. Next, press the seam open. Then, press the trim side towards the untrimmed side. Fold the wider seam over the trimmed one, aligning the raw edges with the first row of stitching. Finally, fold the whole seam flat over itself. You can pin it if you like, but I usually just guide it with my fingers. Then back at the machine, edge stitch along the folded edge to secure it. And there you have it, a clean, professional flat fell seam. Well done, you've just learned a strong and stylish seam that's as functional as it is beautiful. Next up in the playlist is the self-neaten seam, one of my favourite finishes. It's simple, clean and doubles as a design feature. If you found this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. And as always, drop a comment if you tried this out. I'd love to hear how it went. See you in the next video.